Hi, welcome to another session of Wing Chun. In this session, I'm now moved on to the straight punch. Okay, this straight punch. And the most problem with the straight punch, everybody's overusing it. Okay, overusing this straight punch. Okay, and I'm gonna go over the whole thing on how it is supposed to be done. So here goes, and watch it and enjoy. So how do we perform a chain punch? There's gonna be a lot of talk here. Just to brush up, this is the Sil Lim Tao part 6. I'm standing on uneven ground, but anyway, we go into, we go into the stance, the kowtow, so up, come back, with left hand first, here's the chain punch, come here in the middle, out, Bill, Tan, Hoon, 1, 2, back. So obviously this is to show you how to punch. And everybody is just overusing this completely. Okay, because a punch is a straight line punch. Okay, so this is a straight line punch. We teach you how to do this from the center out because that's the most optimal way to do it. Why do we do that from the center out to your opponent? Is because we're still in the scenario 24/7 in Wing Chun that you are a smaller person. So you don't have the weight behind your punches, such as a big shoulder, a big arm, and you're punching someone who's bigger than you are. So you must utilize your body weight to punch. So that if you punch this way, if I punch this way, notice I have nothing behind my elbow. So I'm using just this arm here to punch. As much as I can pivot like they show you in boxing, and when I say boxing, I mean just punching, that you could use the body, but still you're relying a lot on your shoulders. But because you are in this scenario a small person, you don't have the big shoulders. You could be a child, a small man, or a woman. So that's why we put the arm under, put the elbow under, so that the body here can support the elbow with weight behind the punch. So that's why when you punch like this, you can utilize the entire body weight to execute this punch. So you're not now using your shoulder to punch, you are using your entire body weight to punch. So that's why we emphasize punching straight from the middle out, which is the most effective way. But obviously that is under the most optimal situation. Now, it's an idea we teach you. You don't have to copy it exactly, because in real life you never get the most optimal position. So a straight punch is a straight punch is a straight punch. What people don't understand, now watch this. When you're fighting and your arms are here, and when your fist happens to be just here, and the guy's face is there, this is a straight punch. Okay, it doesn't have to be from here to do the straight punch. Okay, it doesn't have to be from here. So when you're here, you don't have to go to here and punch. If your hands are down here and the face is there, this is a straight punch. This making a straight line to the face. So that's a straight punch. If you're here and someone's attacking you from this side and you've just noticed the corner of your eye, someone's attacking you over there. This is a straight punch. As long as your punch is traveling in a straight line when you realize that it's in danger. So I don't give a shit. If your hand's up here and the guy's face is there, then this is a straight punch. If you're picking your nose, this is a straight punch. If you're scratching your butt, then this is a straight punch. So any kind of punch, as long as it travels in a straight line, it is a straight punch. You don't have to be doing this. It doesn't have to be here to be straight. It could be here straight. It could be here a straight punch. It could be here a straight punch, as long as your punches are traveling in a straight line. So that's why people get the wrong idea of always putting their hands here. We tell you this in class over and over again. Yeah, put your hands here, because that is the optimal position. But outside of a school, nobody is going to be marking you on a Wing Chun lesson and say, hey, wait a minute, he used a different punch. So outside of a Wing Chun class, you don't always need to be from here on out. The other reason from here on out is we in Wing Chun class need to fight against another Wing Chun guy. They're always firing from the center like this. So you always need to come out from the center to deflect, to tan, to bong, whatever's in the center out. But you don't need to do that outside, because you're not fighting a Wing Chun guy and he's going to be firing stuff from outside. So wherever your hands happen to be, traveling in a straight line will be a Wing Chun punch. So now if this is the guy here, and it will be just straight line punch. Any straight line punch will do. As I've stated the last time, that I could shift my straight line here to here. So this is my straight line, center line, and I'm punching from here. So I'm ducking with my head, I'm putting my hand here for a pot, and I'm doing this. And then vice versa, something coming from here, I'm instead of punching here from my center line, I'm switching the center line to here. So now this is my center line and I'm punching towards the face. This is the center line and this is my pot. And I could be doing this. So I could be doing this. Of course, in real life, I may not be doing completely this. I'm going to be doing this. So in real life, that is Wing Chun. These are still traveling in a straight line. This is traveling in a straight line. This is traveling. They're all traveling and I'm dodging left and right. Because I don't want to get hit. I don't want to be a stationary target. So I'm switching my center line to here and I'm allowed to be dodging left and right. Nobody is marking you outside of Wing Chun class. So that is why people are being way too strict on having to, we teach you this, so they only do this. So in other words, That's Wing Chun. Okay, so now we're going to go to the biggest elephant in the room, which is the chin up thing. You see me do it. People are overusing it and they don't understand what the idea of the chin up thing is. And there are one or two reasons why the chin is up. And there's one or two reasons how people are overusing it. Okay, so reason number one, what is this chin up thing? Obviously, when you're fighting, you don't want, before you touch somebody, before you fight, you don't want to remain in this position all the time. As I've stated, this is not the right position. The cross hand is the right position. Your hands don't have to be open. They could be clenched, but not hard. Just slightly closed. Just like a regular boxing posture. And when do you put the chin up then? And why? Well, in boxing, people do this a lot too. You know, when somebody tries to punch you and you try to evade, you know, you duck backwards. As simple as that. They try to punch you, you duck backwards. Obviously, they do a lot of side to side and they do a lot of down and up. But ducking backwards is one very legitimate way of evading a punch. So, we do this. One of the reasons is when someone's punching you and you want to evade, you duck backwards. Of course, you do this momentarily. You don't duck backwards and then stay in this position and then start firing like this, okay? Because you, in a competition or in a fight, you do have to lean forward. And nobody's going to fault you for leaning forward. Nobody's going to lap you. It's very, very hard to lap somebody in a free sparring fight. We do that all the time in Wing Chun class. We never want to lean forward because your weight would be thrown forward and then somebody who's doing chi sao right away can easily lap you and you fall forward. That usually never happens in real life because nobody's doing chi sao and nobody is constantly in contact with your hands. So it's very hard. It's very hard for somebody to actually lap you forward. So that's why we don't do this in class, but outside of class, you can lean forward and punch. This is not a problem. So we lean backwards just so that we don't get hit. And if we extend our arms backwards, you should be able to touch the guy, provided that you put your hands in the right place. You should be able to ward off the guy because when you lean backwards, chances are if he's leaning forward like this, your fist is going to be hitting their face while their hands are not going to reach your face because you lean backwards. So that's one reason why we lean backwards. Only momentarily. What you see outside is people that are doing it wrong and they're leaning backwards all the time. Second reason why you see people having the chin up is because in Wing Chun we are set in a scenario that you're fighting somebody taller than you are. So if I'm down here, if I'm this short, somebody's this tall and their face is here, okay, I cannot hit him while I look downwards. I wouldn't be able to generate any power and I wouldn't be able to see him. So I would have to look where I'm punching. So I would have to look up while I nail him in the face. And that's why I have to have the chin up. But again, once again, you are not supposed to have your chin up 24/7. so that you're fighting, and only you, when you do want to nail them correctly, that you come up momentarily. Then you come back down again, and you can fight like this from far away. From far away, you don't have to put your chin up. But this is, once again, a Wing Chun scenario. The guy is this tall, but he's right in front of you. Okay, he's right in front of you. We're looking at this kind of distance here. So you can't punch somebody in the face this way. You don't see what's going on, and you cannot generate any power. That's why we have to look up if you're going to punch somebody like this that are taller than you. So that's two reasons why we look up. Although once again, people are overdoing it, and they're looking up and raising their chin all the time. Third reason why we raise the chin when we punch. Same scenario. I mentioned this already, because we need to generate power. When you're leaning over, you cannot generate power from the ground up. Because when you lean over and you're reaching and you're punching, you're using your body weight only and your shoulders. You're not utilizing your hip power and the power from the ground. So since in this scenario someone is very close to you, they're very tall, they're bigger than you, when you lean over you have no power, assuming you're a very small person with very small arms and no shoulders. Therefore, in this scenario, their face is up here, you are this close, this is their chest, this is their face. You've now passed their arms. You are in very close range. It's very hard for them now to punch you with their arms, because their arms are out here. For them to generate any serious power, they can generate serious power over here, but over here their arms haven't even begun their rotation. So at this close distance, it's very hard for them to generate serious power to knock you out. So now in this close proximity, and their face is up here, you have to use the ground too, because you cannot generate also any power from this close. Therefore, because there's nothing behind, there's no weight behind this elbow. So there, in this scenario, you have to tuck your elbows in. This is when you tuck your elbows in. So when you're out here, you could do like a boxing, and you can generate power from your elbows out. Whatever you can do, Wing Chun way with your elbows in. You can do, traditional boxing punches, whatever. When you get to this kind of scenario, is what we do in Wing Chun. We only train for this kind of distance. You can't possibly generate power with no weight behind your elbow. So you're fighting like this, whatever you want, and as soon as you get into this, you bring your elbows down. So you need to know that here you're allowed to do whatever you want. So you do whatever that's necessary, as long as you punch. I don't care what you do. As soon as you come into here, you bring your elbows in. So elbows out if you want from out here, punch whatever. As soon as you come in, elbow just drops right in. And at this close of a distance, you now have to pivot your hip down and in and out, and do that kegel that I told you about, like pull in your asshole. And then you can now look up and generate a lot of force in this distance. You can generate a lot of force by using your hip power and your legs and pushing it from the ground behind in your heel up to your hip, and from your hip into your elbow. And at this stage, you have to look up and have to be in this kind of position to generate that force into the chin and up into the face. So that is the third reason why you see that we look up. That is only at contact in close range do we do that, not when we're this far away. When we're this far away and we're doing this, you're doing something wrong once again. So That is how so many people are getting it completely wrong. Overusing the chain punch, lifting the head up way too early when they're this far away. You only need to raise your head up when you're here, when you're this close and you can't see what's going on, and you need to generate that power. This is when you can look up, see your target, bring your arms in, and then in this situation you can do the actual traditional chain punch. And that doesn't happen very often. That doesn't come up in very many seconds during a fight. During a fight, it's this kind of range that is most often used. So in this kind of range, it doesn't really matter, and you don't want to be that stationary statue with the heads up so that they could just easily mow you down with a simple punch with their eyes closed. They could easily catch your face. And the other thing, the chain punch, is that, like, you only want to use the chain punch if you've landed the first punch. Then if you landed the first punch, that means that they're slightly incapacitated for that millisecond, and you're not strong enough to mow somebody down with one punch, so that you come back with the second and third and fourth. But this is an Ip Man movie. You cannot start with the chain punch and start doing this all the way until the guy's on the ground. That doesn't happen in real life, because as soon as somebody's getting hit, they're gonna go to one side, they're gonna try to cover, they'll try to put their hands over and whatever. So what happens is, fire like simple 1 or 2 punches, and as soon as you got something, and you're not gonna hit somebody every time you fire punches. So you're gonna fire a few punches. Don't waste your energy for just shooting off wild chain punches everywhere. But as soon as you hit something, then if you landed something, then you start with 1 or 2 chain punches, but not like a dozen. That's never going to happen. So when you land something, your goal is not to finish him off with the chain punch. Your goal is to finish him off with your elbows, because your elbows are the strongest weapon that you got. Once you got 1 or 2 chain punches in, then that allows you to move in, because they're incapacitated for that millisecond, because they're like, don't know what's going on. Even though the chain punches isn't going to be deadly, because they're usually quite weak, but they are very fast and effective to kind of disorient the opponent, kind of like a jab would be. So as soon as you get a few punches in, that gives you time to move in, and once you move in, you can do and finish them off with elbows and chain punches and elbows and low punches and elbows and elbow low punches, chain punch, elbow. You gotta switch it up. If you don't switch it up, you cannot start doing this, all the way down to the ground. That is someone who just watched way too many Ip Man movies once again. So there you have it. In-depth explanation on the straight punch. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, wear a mask, and have a good day. Thanks, bye.